If you're watching this YouTube video, it then means that your exams are fast approaching and closer than expected. In this video, I'm going to be telling you about some tips that you can actually utilize to ensure that these remaining few weeks to your exam are productive. Alright guys, welcome to my channel. If you're just turning in for the first time, do well to hit the subscribe button, share, like and comment. So I make videos relating to academic stuff where I share tips and tricks about studying and study habits. Alright, so if you're interested in it, do well to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any video I am going to be sharing. Okay, so I am the educator and I'm currently a second year medical student of Delta State University, Abraka. So, and I said earlier in this video, I'm going to be telling you about some techniques or tips that you can actually utilize to ensure that these few weeks to your exams are very productive. Be it 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 1 month to your exam, the tips will work for everyone. Okay, whether you have read, whether you have not read, whether you're lacking behind, whether you have covered a lot of stuffs, it is for everyone. All right, so this video I have divided it into 3 parts. Okay, things to do, 2 things not to do, and additional tips and tricks. All right, so now for the things to do, the first thing you must take note of is create a realistic study schedule. Okay, so now before you embark on any particular academic comeback or preparation for your upcoming exam, ensure that there is a set schedule down. Okay, and you must make sure that it is realistic. What do I mean by it being realistic? Okay, let's say you have about 2 weeks to your exam or 1 week to your exam. You wouldn't go ahead to set a schedule that is 1 month or a study plan that is 1 month. Okay, so you're going to create this schedule based on the number of days you have left for your exams. All right, so the next one is prioritize and focus. Okay, prioritize and focus. Now this is not the time to get distracted, or this is not the time to do other things. This is the time to focus. All right, because exams are fast approaching, so you tend to prioritize your academics more than any other thing you are going to do or you are doing. Your business, your lifestyle, your social activities, any other thing you do should be less prioritized. Okay, your academics should be put front now that exams are close, so that you can actually focus more. Right, and the third tip that you should have at the back of your mind is using active recall and spaced repetition. All right, so I initially made a video on active recall and spaced repetition. All right, so do well to check out the video in the description box below. Now, active recall, there's various ways you can use active recall. All right, make use of flashcards, practice past questions. Okay, practice past questions, and also discuss with your friends. All right, then to discuss what you have read with your friends, okay, or your study partners or your course mates, or just ensure that you are actively engaging yourself with your stuffs. All right, or with your book. Then as for spaced repetition, do well to look back at your stuffs at spaced intervals. Okay, another thing you must take note of is effective note taking. Okay, now at this particular point in time, you must learn how to take notes. All right, now preparing for an exam when it is closer and preparing for an exam when it is much more further, when you are taking notes, they differ. It's a pattern you actually take notes. All right, so you don't just end up copying everything that is in the textbook, but you actually use effective note taking techniques. All right, so you can just put it in bullet form or probably highlight those important things that you need to know before the exam actually comes. Alright, so the next tip here is to find your study environment. Okay, ensure you have a place where you study this period, because the exams are fast approaching. You must have a study environment. That study environment must be free from distractions. It must be conducive. All right, now this place is where you will regularly go to study. All right, the next tip is get enough sleep. Trust me, this period when exams are fast approaching can be somehow tempting in the sense that you will see sleep as a distraction, but trust me, get enough sleep. But even while you get enough sleep, you should sleep reasonably. Sleep with the mindset of you have an exam approaching. Okay, but ensure you sleep. All right, eat healthy and stay hydrated. Now it's also, like I said, it's also a very tempting period because you see things that you do on a regular basis as distraction, to get to a point that some persons see cooking as distraction. And so because because it's close to exam, you just tend to, oh, let me just drink garri, let me just do this, or let me just buy this, or let me just. So ensure you eat healthy and stay hydrated, because it actually helps your brain to function more effectively when you are studying, especially for this period. Okay, then also make sure you seek help. All right, seek help when there is a need. Now, this is not the period to just lock yourself somewhere and just hide it there and say, today, this week, I'm not coming outside, I just want to read. And no. Even if you are going to do that, when you eventually face a challenge, make sure you seek help. All right, yeah, you can meet your classmates, meet senior colleagues, meet your lecturers. Ensure you seek help. All right, don't just isolate yourself and keep on wasting time on a particular concept. Any concept you don't understand, this is not the time to start making research or going deep into the concepts. You can just meet someone who will be explain this concept for you, and you are good to go. So having all these things to do in mind, the next one we'll be going to is things not to do. The first one is procrastination. As you all know, procrastination is a killer of time. This is not the time to procrastinate. Trust me, procrastination can be tempting sometimes, okay? But this is not the period to procrastinate. Like I said earlier, focus. Okay, so this is the time to ensure that procrastinating spirit should be left aside. All right, ensure you keep your tasks as real as possible. It helps you to avoid procrastinating. So keep your goals real, keep your goals achievable, keep it measurable, keep it time bounded. All right, so that you don't just end up procrastinating. Because trust me, few weeks to exam, any day you skip cannot be gotten back, and trust me, it brings you closer to your exam. So each day must be utilized effectively, so avoid procrastination. Secondly, cramming. This period can be tempting, like I said, cramming. And all you just do is, let me just cram this stuff, let me just cram this plenty stuff, let me cram this information so I can just end up writing this exam and forget about it. Trust me, this period is not the period to cram. Still try and make sure that you understand some of these concepts, because cramming is one of the key factors to students getting blacked out in examination. So ensure you try and understand every of the concepts that you are going to be reading this period, rather than just make cramming, because it's going to be of disadvantage if that individual blanks out in examination. Then also try not to multitask while studying. The truth of the matter is, you can't multitask while studying. What your brain actually does is switching of tasks. You can't actually multitask. Your brain can't multitask. So when it's time to study, you should know it is time to study. It is not the time to study for 10 minutes and check your phone for 2 minutes, study again for another 10 minutes. No, if it is 2 hours of study you are going to be doing, you should make sure that straight 2 hours is for only study. Alright, this is not the time to get distracted or start sharing time or start multitasking yourself or switching tasks. Alright, so another thing you must avoid this period is comparing yourself with others. Okay, now if you want to make use of this period effectively and make sure that it is productive, run away from comparing yourself with others. Okay, now many persons have been preparing right from the beginning, and so they didn't just get this knowledge they have all of a sudden, they put work into it. So it is not the time now to start saying, oh, this person is better than me, oh, this person has gone far, oh, this person has covered the scheme and I'm here, what am I doing? This is not the time to start saying all those things. This is the time to sit down and get to work, rather than comparing yourself with others. Because trust me, the more you compare yourself with others, the more you get demotivated. And trust me, if you are demotivated, this period is going to be very, very risky and dangerous, because at the end of the day, your brain too will not be stabilized, and your brain not being stabilized means that you are not going to read, and not reading means that the exam is not really going to go as planned. Okay, then also one thing you should also avoid is changing study method drastically. This is not the time to start changing study methods up and down. All right, so towards exam period like this, you don't just change study method. Stick to one study method and use it within that period of time. So if you have 2 weeks to exam, 1 week to exam, 3 weeks to exam, whatever the time frame is, ensure you stick to one study method. And I would advise you stick to active recall and spaced repetition. So this active recall and spaced repetition I've been talking about since. If you don't understand what active recall and spaced repetition is, ensure you check out that video in the description button to watch and understand and know how you can use active recall and spaced repetition. Then also try not to overstudy. Like I said, this period is also very tempting. Like you just end up doing crazy things at the end of the day. It looks so try as much as possible not to overstudy. Overstudying is real and overstudying is very possible. Now what does it mean to overstudy? It gets to a particular point when your brain looks as if it's not assimilating anything you are putting in. That is when you have overstudied, and so you must ensure that you give your brain breaks. Okay, this is not the time to just say I'm going to study for 24 hours. No, it's something that you can do wisely and ensure that you also stay motivated, because if your brain should break down or your reading efficiency should reduce, it's actually going to demotivate you. So ensure that you study moderately, and even if you are to pressure yourself, ensure you don't pressure yourself to overstudying, because at the end of the day it looks like you study for a very long period of time and what you understand is not up to what you studied for that period of time. Then lastly, ensure that you don't panic. All right, this is the period to panic and you're just, oh my god, what exactly is this exam going to look like? What am I going to write? I've not covered a lot of stuff, so I've not done this. Try as much as possible to keep yourself calm. All right, the calmer you are, the better your reading efficiency is. This try as much as possible to stay calm. All right, stay calm, but that pressure should be there that, oh yes, exams are approaching, but ensure that you don't panic. Okay. Alright, so having talked about the things you need to do this period and the things you need not to do this period, I'll be sharing with you some additional tricks that you must have at the back of your mind. But before I share these additional tricks with you, do well to hit the subscribe button if you have not subscribed, like this video and share with your classmates and loved ones so we can all build ourselves academically. So back to the additional tip. One of the things you should take note of is practice past question. Irrespective of how exams are fast approaching, this is what many persons wouldn't do, but make sure you do this. All right, study past questions, practice past questions. A lot of persons will see practicing past questions this period are wasting of time, but trust me, practicing past question has a lot of advantages. Yes, it gives you this edge over those who are not studying past question. All right, so practice past question this period. All right, create mnemonics. All right, create mnemonics. Yeah, create mnemonics. Create mnemonics. Mnemonics are so powerful. Like when I mean powerful, they are very powerful. They actually help your brain to synchronize stuffs into concise form. Right, so in this period also ensure you have mnemonics, okay, because this period you have a lot of stuff to read, you have a lot of things to cover and exams are fast approaching. To ensure that your studying is fast and more efficiently, you can put your stuffs into mnemonics. Right, what exactly are mnemonics? Mnemonics are just they can be acronyms. Right, you give some particular concepts, acronyms, in order for you to remember them. All right, so there was a mnemonics form. We have vitamins, we have the water soluble vitamins and we have the fat soluble vitamins, right? And so for the fat soluble vitamins, I know that they are vitamin A, D, E and K. So how exactly do I know they are A, D, E and K? So because I give an acronym, that there is one of my friend whose name is Adekule that is also fat. All right, so Adekule is fat, so I already know that the ADEK in Adekule represents fat soluble vitamins. So this actually helps me to remember fat soluble vitamins, and so there is no exam I will go for and they'll tell me mention fat soluble vitamins and I'll start taking, because I know I'll just remember, oh, Adekule, my fat friend. All right, so the ADEK from Adekule, and so these are, you can see how important mnemonics actually is. And also there are some strategies you can also implement on the exam day. All right, there are some strategies you can also implement on the exam day. Strategies like read the questions very well. All right, try and make sure that you are very calm while reading this question. Read your instructions very well. Emphasis on understanding your instruction for an exam is very important. Then you must take note of time management during the exam. So in advance, make sure you are practicing. All right, give yourself questions, give yourself time, you will answer it. If your exams are CBT based, okay, it is even a plus for you. So you can just give yourself MCQ questions and you time yourself. Okay, I'm supposed to answer 10 questions in 5 seconds, I'm supposed to have 10 questions in 10 seconds, I'm supposed to. So this actually helps you to have the feel of the exam, not getting there and you are seeing everything for the first time, and so you can see where benefit of past question now comes in. And lastly, ensure you visualize your success. Alright, so these tricks, additional tricks, are things that not everyone will actually do, but yes, they are very, very important. Ensure you visualize your success. Visualizing your success has a way of boosting your brain efficiency while studying. Alright, so imagine you tell your brain, and that is why it is very, very advisable for you to make sure that your brain is in a motivated state before you start studying. Alright, so when your brain is in a motivated state when you start studying, it gives you this speed and efficiency and productivity. But when your brain is in a very demotivated and confused state, you spend a lot of time studying that course and still end up not assimilating so much. So this is where visualizing your success comes in. Visualize your success. Visualize, oh, I am going to pass this exam. I am going to, oh my god, this. So it actually gives you this edge, all right? It gives you this motivation, and yes, I know where I'm going to. You keep on studying, all right? So if you have watched this video to this point, I know you enjoyed this video. So do well to give it a thumbs up, do well to share to your loved ones, do well to comment, and if you have not subscribed to this channel, do well to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out on any other important videos like this we are going to be sharing. All right, so once again, success in your coming exam.